There was one instance where I got involved, actually, I guess, in the work, in working in AIDS and making that transition. I was working in an organization that primarily had a mission to work with people with cerebral palsy and people with severe and profound mental retardation. And I was just a staff person there that was working with folks with disabilities. And the executive director had called a group of the staff together and said that he wanted to start to move into the field of HIV and AIDS. Actually, it was AIDS then. We didn't make the distinction. It was AIDS-related complex, and then it was AIDS. And he was looking for volunteers to do some work in the community, working with people with HIV and AIDS. And this was really bold in the 1980s because people were still afraid. I mean, there was all the stuff with Ryan White and all the threats and, you know, do you share utensils? And so for him to make this statement, this bold statement to say his intent is to move into this area and take care of people with AIDS, really rattled some of the staff, and people shied away from it. And I raised my hand to volunteer, and my volunteer assignment was to go into the house of a young girl who was 5 years old who had AIDS and to work with her on cognitive exercises, as well as do range of motion, because the disease for her name was Bonnie, the disease had really crippled her up, and her hands were clenched and her speech was impaired. But she had the most beautiful, soft, just lovely brown eyes at 5 years old. And that was my first experience in working in HIV and AIDS. Was the defining moment when the director made that announcement.